How do we save the reef? By making a vibrant grazing community, we're going to save the reef. How? Less runoff, more infiltration, more nitrogen in the grassland community, yes, but less nitrate leaking away. More carbon into the soil, more space for water, remember? Okay, that's what this whole thing is about. Therefore, if we can capture more water here, we can use it for longer. I'm Dick Richardson, run a business called Grazing Naturally, which is all about using natural processes to drive grazing to create better ecological communities, catching more water, capturing carbon, which is what drives the water cycle actually, and then we can get better profitability while we're sorting out water flows.
What's that shit look like to you, Dick?
It's a bit short of protein.
How can you tell? What are you looking at?
Whatever it is causing the trouble there. There's a hell of a lot of mucus coming out of there. You see it, that mucus
See
there?
the shiny oily looking
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Utilising the natural processes that we do in Grazing Naturally to drive that pasture to push up its own nutrient density and its protein and energy production so that you end up with a better quality feed there. If we manage the same plants to behave differently, then we can crank up the nutrition of it. Yeah.
Mate, you've lost me.
I've lost you already. Yeah.
Like, I'm not up to this level, eh?
That's right, we'll get you there. Today we're here at Palomana Station. We're starting off with an introductory workshop with Grazing Naturally, led by Dick Richardson. Really appreciate the effort at this time of year to spend what I hopefully is going to be an excellent Monday doing a lot of learning with Dick. And we have varied levels of knowledge, I guess people who have heard Dick speak before and those who maybe haven't. So I encourage you all to ask a lot of questions.
Probably two main things I'd like to get done is identifying how and what enhances soil depth and maturity, and then have a bit of a run-on from there about how main ecosystems work. In other words, a woodland ecosystem versus a grassland ecosystem. A grassland ecosystem is probably not the right word, but a grazing-orientated community of organisms. So we're going to have a bit of a look at evolution just now. A lot of people say, Dick, we're farmers, what the hell we need to know about evolution? But once I've explained it, it's like an aha moment that now we can understand how naturally things operate. Okay, so what we want to know about is the genesis of these mineral particles to what we call soil today. A lot of Aussies call it dirt. Dirt is the stuff your mum sends you to wash off your face before dinner, okay? Soil is not inert, dirt is inert. Grazing is a method of working with grasses. Basically, the grass and the animal have evolved together, and these two things have over time made really big differences to how the ecosystem on Earth works. How the natural processes of grazing and that evolutionary process actually operated to drive this humic development over time. Because if we can copy that, we all agreed earlier on that this evolutionary process didn't include machinery, chemicals, etc., etc. So if we can copy that and graze with the natural process, again, we'll be able to just reinstigate that evolutionary process and continue with where it left off. What we're really trying to do is create a fit-for-purpose grazing community of organisms, because different ecosystems work in different ways. So a woodland ecosystem, for example, would drop organic matter at soil surface, be broken down by visible fungal saprotrophs, and then that would feed the roots of the trees from the top down, whereas grasslands don't work like that. Grasslands work the other way around. So what we need to do is try and utilize most of the feed that's on the surface, push it through a digestion pathway rather, and in that case we can ionize it, we can make it available for nutrient growth, and we can drive the humic part of the development. And how we do that is that we pick individual paddocks out which we're going to priority graze, meaning that we will keep those in max sugar flow into the soil, and to get that right we have other paddocks which skip out that year and get a Sabbath event or a period of no use, which makes us be able to drive the paddocks better. Nice and sweet, graze flat. Old mate, graze flat. So no matter what you try and do, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's my point. Is everybody happy with that? It's going to happen anyway. The animals are going to select the plants they want and they're going to graze them severely. So what we actually got to learn to do is work with that.
How do you tell that, Dick? How do you know if there's sugar coming out?
You see the soil stuck to it?
Yeah.
That there has got sugar going out of it at the moment.
Because, like you said, it's got that curly stuff around it.
Yes, and this one, you pointed the one on the end of my finger there, that one as well. Does everybody see what we're talking about there? So the woodland type of community is operating with these visible saprotrophs, you see them?
Yep.
The white ones, I don't know if we'll get a smell in there if anybody wants to try. Building all this extra infrastructure up above ground. Up here, putting a lot of energy into doing so, and basically building a really low quality plant above ground. Okay, so how do we get this to change? That's the secret, isn't it? What have we got to put in here if we want a vibrant grazing ecosystem? Grazing, yes. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what bloody animal it is, but you need it in here to try and turn that old organic matter over and to get it into the soil. What about pattern? If we repeat pattern of underutilization in country, form will follow the function. But if we could keep that plant, when it gets to 3 leaf, graze it off again, and let it regrow the 3 leaves and do it again, let it grow the 3 leaves, we'd keep it in absolute high sugar flow.
You can't have all your country that short because
That's
then
correct.
you've got nothing left.
That's correct, I can't have it all that short.
Oh, but you're going to do it to every paddock.
I'm going to do it to some of the paddocks. I'm going to have a rest paddock if I'm going to concentrate on these ones. But it's these paddocks that I'm going to keep in a high sugar flow scenario to make it work.
Reef-wise grazing of burdock and rangelands is a brand new project in 2019. It's funded by the Great Barrier Reef Foundation in partnership with the Australian Government's Reef Trust. We're hoping that it has ecological benefits in terms of reducing sediment runoff to the Great Barrier Reef. We're hoping that the project has business benefits for families so that they can remain on the land for as long as they wish to.
So in 20 years down the track, I'd hope to have the grass being productive and have more of it. So I'd like to try and double the carrying capacity of the property, and you're making a lot more profit, especially if I'm getting more production out of the cattle as well.
We're not going to get grazed, we've got problems, chaps. We better make babies. So they're going to get a leg over and get hell busy, and they're going to start putting seed in and a whole lot up, and they're going to then go into a vegetative state, and you can then be happy and you can tick a whole lot of boxes because you've just had a seeding rest in this paddock. In grazing communities, or in any ecological community, it's the change that creates the change. And the more change you can put in, diverse changes, the more biodiverse the ecosystem can become.